Hello everyone, I'm Ivana.
And I'm Catherine.
And this is Targum Tea, a podcast which focuses on pop culture reviews and social media. In today's episode, we'll be talking about the new horror movie, The Invisible Man, directed by Leigh Whannell and starring Elizabeth Moss. Spoilers beware.
Okay, so the movie is about a woman named Cecilia who escapes from her abusive ex, and then she finds out he killed himself, and she believes that he's still alive and he's made himself invisible somehow and is torturing her with all these unexplainable events that follow the announcement of his death. And she tries to prove that he's invisible, but everyone thinks she's crazy because that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what the movie's about, basically. Okay, so first of all, the characters. Cecilia, who's played by Elizabeth Moss. What'd you think?
She was so good.
Yeah, she was awesome.
She was so good. And, it's so hard. If you think about it, she's literally in this set, right? When they're rehearsing, there is no invisible man. There's no person there that she's acting with. So, in order for her to, bring out so much emotion...
She's alone on camera.
She's alone.
Yeah.
So the fact that she can, bring out this performance,
yeah.
Wow, she literally, she carried that film on her back.
No, she did.
She did.
I mean,
if it wasn't for her,
she carried the film. But it was, amazing.
I mean, no, the film was amazing, but, her performance, made it 10 times more better because we believed her.
Yeah.
And, imagine just acting. There's
alone.
That's crazy to me.
I mean, yeah.
Literally, what?
Some of the scenes, she was alone on camera, and there was this one scene she was in a house, and the invisible man shows up, and he starts beating her, and she's just fighting nothing.
She's fighting nothing.
Yeah.
And to make that
but it looks real.
Believable.
Yeah.
Wow. She was so good.
No, she was
so good.
What'd you think about her character development?
I really felt for her.
Me too.
I really I was sad. I was in the audience and I felt for her.
I know. Well, she was in an abusive relationship, right?
Yeah.
She got out, and nobody believed her about the guy being still around, and everybody called her crazy, to the point where she was put in a mental hospital, and didn't stop believing in herself, and she just kept fighting, and eventually...
She gets out of the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you see, I'm in the audience, I'm like, girl...
Yeah.
I know you sound crazy.
For you.
But she sounds crazy, and I'm I feel for her because everybody thinks she is crazy, but we know she's not. Yeah. So making the audience be included in that,
right?
I thought was good because
awesome.
it made her character development better.
Yeah, no, there was this one line where she's in the mental hospital with a lawyer and James, who is her police friend who was protecting her after she got out of the abusive relationship, and she was I can prove he's invisible, I just can't tell you right now because he's in the room. And they're what? What are you saying?
She sounds crazy, but I'm we know she's not crazy. I'm girl, we got you.
I know.
But it was it was tough.
And then there was James, who I loved. He was so
he was so good. He had those quirky little one-liners.
He was a total dad, and he made his character and his daughter's character, who's her name's Sydney. She's a teenage daughter. I mean, a teenage girl, and they made the movie more. I guess they added a
funny
a comic relief part of the movie, and kind of heartfelt.
Right?
You know what I mean?
It was
it wasn't. I mean, this movie wasn't exactly horror. It says horror, but it's more thriller.
It is.
Don't you think?
It is. It's more thriller.
Because when I picture horror, I picture
gore,
gory, blood,
hard. Yeah, there was blood,
ghosts. You know?
But
I picture ghosts, paranormal activity.
Yeah.
But this was it's not realistic, but it seemed realistic. Okay, let me explain the Invisible Man, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Adrian is the man, the name of Cecilia's ex. Okay, now he fakes his death, and he puts on this suit that's made of cameras, and it gives off the illusion that it's invisible. it like seems realistic because of like the technology.
Yeah, I was like, this
like anything's possible today with
exactly.
technology. That's why it's like
so
realistic.
that's why I was like in the theater. I was like, that could actually
happen. I know. And so
I was so scared. I think that made it scarier.
No, yeah,
technology. And I
feel like that's how it like they made it like
watched
realistic.
Right now.
I mean,
it made it scarier.
Yeah. Have you ever seen like Black Mirror?
No.
Like that's kind of all about like there's a lot of episodes where it's like technological advancements like that's like seem realistic, but like it's weird. It's like kind of like that. And it was like I don't know, because like most horror movies have like spiders coming out of your like throat, and it's like what like
it's not gonna happen. Yeah.
But this was
yeah. And I guess like we also felt for the woman more because we can like people could relate.
Right.
Like we could at
because
some point in our life
huge...
we had someone like control us at some point, or like
the movie was a lot about control. At least like 4 times, like she was like this is how he was abusive. She said that he controlled the way she ate, the way she dressed, the way she thought, the way she talked, and whatnot.
He was in her thoughts. Like, she said that she was at a dinner table eating with him, and then one day she was just in her brain like thinking about how she can get away from him, and out of nowhere, like even without hearing her say this, he said, "You can't get away from me. I will always find you." I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
But it's like
so scary.
It's also like a like pressing issue in America, you know, like domestic abuse, violence, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. But
and this movie like it does good by showing what life would be like. Yeah. Being like in this domestic like abuse.
Right. And you know, actually during the film I was sitting with my friend and I was like watching the end like she's just like schizophrenic or something, like because of everything she endured, you know, like she just because he tried to make her crazy, like she said like multiple times, she was like, he made me think I was crazy. You know, like I thought it was gonna be like a more like mental. Right. Yeah. Like
but it was basically just domestic abuse.
No, yeah, it was literally an invisible man, and I was like, oh, okay, this is actually
and it was pretty heartbreaking because like you get into like they like this it's a theme of a movie, like domestic violence, and like they did it so well because like it shows what would happen when people don't believe those who are being abused. Right. And like that was just heartbreaking to watch because like we believe her, but like in real world, like in society, like there's a lot of people who
are like, you're crazy.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh dang,
I know
this is what's happening, and it's like it was just heartbreaking to watch.
There was actually one scene her sister kind of helps her escape from the ex. So the Adrian, who like the invisible man, he writes to her sister Emily an email from Cecilia, and he's like, I hate you, I wish you were dead, blah blah blah. And then Emily says to Cecilia like, I don't know why you would write that, like I don't want anything to do with you, blah blah blah. And Cecilia's like crying and saying like, that wasn't me, that was him. And then she's like, you need medication, and like shuts the door on her face. I was like, what? Like that's just like, you know, if why would you slam? Like she's clearly like going through something. Yeah. You're gonna shut the door on her
that
face?
Part I didn't get, because I'm like, no sister would do like if you tell them that I didn't write this, and like you see them like going through something,
like, she's like shaking, like crying, and I'm like, that wasn't me, like, you know.
Okay, but my favorite scene with I had so many favorite scenes, but with the sister, that scene when she was so basically, so they were at a dinner table, Cecilia and what's her sister's name? Emily. Cecilia and Emily were at a dinner table, right? And Cecilia was gonna like finally tell her like, okay, you need to believe me, and they're like getting like very intense, and it's like very like quiet and intense, and it's like, okay, they're
in a public restaurant,
and she's finally gonna tell her that, look, you have to believe me. There's an invisible, like Adrian's invisible, and he's like messing with me.
She was gonna tell her that she found a suit in his house which was made of the cameras. It was like another suit which proves what she's saying is true. And all of a sudden, literally, we see like a knife floating in back of her.
Before she tells her sister that she found an invisible suit.
Right.
all you see, like, she says, oh, he's invisible. And she goes, what? And then the camera pans back to Cecilia, and there's a knife, right? Like, floating in air. And then Emily's like, and then literally it happened so fast. The camera pans super fast, and all you see is the knife slit her throat. Her sister's throat, and then her sister's just dead. And then he places the knife back on Cecilia's hand to make it look like she did it. Oh my goodness.
And then the people in the restaurant, like, turned and was like, and screamed
because it looks like Cecilia killed her own sister.
Yeah.
That was the major, like, I did not see that coming because it was so fast paced. And I was just in the theater, like, I got up my seat, and I'm like, what? Yeah. And since I watched it at RU Cinema, you know how, like, the audience is very loud. All you see is everybody get up in their seat and, like, what? What?
That's
and,
so
like,
funny.
it just, since it happened so fast, and then they just changed, like, they cut back to another scene, like, to the next scene, and I was, like, just sitting there, like,
but you know what?
Wow.
You know what I loved about it? It happened all so fast, but what made it, like, seem like it was happening faster, the jump cuts, like, she was sitting, and then she was standing up, and then she was shaking, and then she was on the ground because she was being, like, detained.
Yeah.
And that just, like, I don't know, it just,
the
like...
jump cuts made it more, I think the fast pace worked.
Yeah. No, of course. Especially moments like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were slower moments, and then there were, like...
faster.
During times of, I mean, like, violence, obviously, the cuts are going to be faster to create, like, a
tension,
a chaotic scene.
Yeah, like anxiety feeling. Yeah. This movie was basically like anxiety feeling.
Yeah.
And I like anxiety feeling. Yeah. Like, I don't really like, I don't know, I love horror, but, like, when I'm in the movie theater, I'm like, I don't want this, like, I don't like this, but I like the feeling. Yeah. So, like, it was a very anxiety feeling, like, movie. I had, like, a bunch of heart attacks. I had a bunch of, like, what is happening?
Yeah, there was this one scene where she's, like, she's in an attic, and, she finds, like, Adrian's cell phone, and...
That was my other favorite scene.
She finds his cell phone, and she finds, she called Adrian's
She was
phone.
talking to Adrian while sitting... So, there was a scene where, like, she was in the bedroom, right? Mm-hmm. And she put, like, coffee grounds on the floor so she can see if he comes in with his footsteps.
Right.
And then she picks up... She's like, you know what? She picks up the phone and calls his cell phone, and then you hear it vibrating up in the attic.
So then she goes up there... And then she's like, what? And then, like... and then
after that, when she tries to go back downstairs...
Yeah. She pours, like, paint because she, like, has a feeling like there's something there.
Well, because he texted to his phone, surprise.
Oh my gosh, I must have, like, blinked during that. I remember that.
He texted her, the phone vibrated, and she looked at it, like, the camera was slowly panning to the phone, and it said, unknown sender. Surprise! And she's like, huh? And then she goes back to the stairs, and then she throws paint.
Right.
And then that's the first time.
You see it.
That was the first time you see
the outline
of the suit.
Right. That was crazy.
We all freaked out in the theater.
I saw that in the trailer, but my friend didn't see the
trailer.
My friend didn't see the trailer, and she screamed.
We screamed.
Before that happened, I was like, I knew it was coming because I saw it in the trailer, so I was like, watch this. And it's just...
That was so good.
That was great.
And I guess the cinematography... So we can talk about the cinematography.
Yeah.
Like, it takes such a... It's such a, like...
It's very mysterious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's, like, meant to be in the movie.
Right.
Like, that camera, like, there are a bunch of, like, my favorite scenes was, like, most of my favorite, like, I guess shots, not scenes, were, like, when the camera just panned to nothing.
I was gonna say that! It would pan to, like, Cecilia or whoever was in the scene.
And it would just pan to, like, an empty corner, or an empty, I'm like, it made it terrifying.
No, yeah.
They set it up so well that they could just leave the camera at nothing, and we would get scared because we're looking for the invisible man, but like nothing's there, but we're now feeling crazy.
Yeah,
and I'm like, wow, the cinematography was so good.
No, yeah,
doing that.
When that first happened, like the camera, like when it would pan to like an empty like hallway, I said to my friend, I was like, what is this? Like, what are we looking at? Like, we're looking at a hallway.
The camera did such a good job, and like guiding the movie.
It did more of that, and it like spooked me out more and more. You know,
I really like also the shots. I think my favorite shot was when, I don't know if she was in the hospital at this point, but she was sitting down at some point, and the camera was, like, focused on her, and then it tilted up, and then rack focused to nothing. So then she was, so basically what that means was it like, tilted up the camera, and then she was out of focus, Like they
I know what
changed
you're
the
talking
focus.
about.
She was out of focus, and then they focused on
literally
the
a
wall,
corner, right?
A corner, and I'm like, huh,
and
that was so scary.
I know, like
to me.
you could just tell that he was there.
We all like everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
That was like it was just mind blowing how they could just like
That was really
take
cool.
nothing and like actually make it like scary.
No, yeah, they took like nothing and made it something, which
Yeah.
alone is awesome.
Yeah,
You know?
and the special effects really like.
Oh yeah.
Made the film.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
The special effects were so cool.
Yeah.
there was a point where when Cecilia's in the mental hospital, she has a pen and she like stabs
my gosh. Herself.
Yeah, she stabs herself, but then she stabs the
Him.
Yeah, him.
Oh, that was so good.
I know.
We all yelled. We're like, yes.
But then his suit glitches.
Yes, that was
So then you'd see him glitch in and out, and then like you would see some of his suit, and then the other, like the bottom half, like invisible, and that was just so cool.
It was just so cool. I was like, wow.
I know. No, yeah.
And one of the other like special effects, I know this one's like minor, but like in the beginning of the movie when she like goes out to see if anybody was there, and she breathes. And behind her, somebody else, like you don't see anybody behind her, but you see like the breath of somebody.
In
that
the
was the
cold
first
when you
time
breathe,
I think we like noticed that there was an
Everyone
invisible man.
in the movie theater
was
was like,
oh
yes!
that was so good. Oh my goodness,
that was really funny. Okay, what about Tom? How weird was that guy?
Wait, Tom was the man.
Adrian's brother. He was
weird.
so creepy. Okay.
He was creepy.
Tom is Adrian's brother who, when Adrian died, Tom was like, okay, Adrian left everything to you, and like I hated him too, and he controlled me too.
I'm like, what?
and then later he like says to Cecilia, he's alive.
Yeah, and I'm like, and what?
And because Cecilia's like being framed for her sister's murder, Tom's like, if you go back to Adrian, then I can get you out of this you won't be tried for murder. And that was just like weird.
It was weird
alone.
To me. Yeah, that was so...
He was just so creepy because he was like,
I just thought he was creepy.
Yeah, he was creepy.
I didn't. And that part confused me though.
What?
At the end, when it was just like, wait, so it's the brother? So then when did they
switch?
All, yeah,
no.
I was like, that part was the only part I was like,
okay, wait.
What?
Tom was the invisible man, okay?
Yeah.
It wasn't Adrian.
No, it was Adrian.
What are you talking about?
Yes, it was. Adrian was the invisible man throughout the whole... Girl, what?
What are you talking about? Adrian was...
No, they want you to believe that. It was Adrian.
What?
Adrian was the invisible man. It couldn't have been Tom.
Dude, it was Tom.
It was Adrian. Tom. Why did she... So she basically killed Adrian at the end. Because
that
she
was
knew...
the end. Hold on,
but in the beginning, like, he knew everything. Because remember when she also said, like, what was it called? The diapen?
The anxiety.
The pills that he drugged her with.
Yeah, that was like...
She drugged him with that. So he brought it back and, like, it was, like, bloody. Like,
yeah, but, like, Adrian could have been, like, bring this back to her. You know? Like, I think they were working
they were working together.
Yeah,
but
obviously.
the beginning half, like, everything in the beginning was Adrian in the invisible suit. Like, her boyfriend. Yes.
I don't know, dude.
You think it was Tom?
I mean, yeah, because he was in the suit.
No. Oh, no. I think it was Adrian. It had to be. You see, okay, that part of the movie.
Adrian set everything up.
I think there you go. That's the part where the movie failed.
No, because
to explain
because Tom kept saying like he controlled me. I think he manipulated Tom.
So I think
to do this.
No,
to
so
Cecilia.
he basically convinced him at the end to go and like kill her at the hospital. Like it had to be Adrian in the beginning. It had to be.
I don't.
And
think
he
so.
just girl, you see? Okay, there you go. That's where the movie failed. To like explain a little bit. Just
I guess they didn't explain that, but I think it was.
I think it was Adrian.
I think it was Tom.
It was Adrian.
Okay, so then wait. Let's talk about the end because that was crazy.
I really loved the end.
I loved the ending.
So there was a major theme of like security cameras, basically,
right?
And like the
there
feeling
because this guy was rich. Like
yeah.
First of all,
there were so many security cameras in his house.
He built the suit.
Yeah.
He's like an inventor or something, and he's like a millionaire. Okay, and he had cameras everywhere because he
wanted
was
to watch her.
Right. He was controlling her, so
Yeah,
he
he was
watched her every
controlling her.
move. But
and every time like something happened in the movie, like they would cut to a security camera. Like remember when she was running?
That. I liked when we saw the film through
because it just
the security camera.
It made us feel like we're always being watched. Like there's security cameras everywhere. So then that made it like relate to us.
Yeah.
So when at the end scene, when they cut to the security camera when they were both at the dinner table, I was like, oh, she's gonna kill him.
Wait, so after the Invisible Man who is Tom dies, like because Cecilia like shoots him, they find out that Adrian's still alive, and he's like
so weird
he's tied up in his basement. That was weird. I know.
He did that to himself. I'm sorry.
Oh, I know.
Okay,
He did do that to himself because I'm telling you, he controlled everything. But
he was.
but so then, Cecilia's like, so James, the police guy, tells Cecilia that like he's still alive, and Cecilia's like I can't. We're never gonna be safe unless with him still around.
Yeah.
So then she calls Adrian.
She tells him like I know he did this. Like because
and
you're the
nobody
police
believes
guy
her.
because the police guy also believed it was Tom. He didn't believe it was Adrian. She goes, no, it was Adrian. So then she was like, look, I'm gonna prove it to you. So they go to the dinner scene and she has like a mic in her dress, I guess.
No.
And she goes to try and make the police guy believe that Adrian was
because she's wearing a wire and she's trying to like get him to
believe
confess.
that she knows that Adrian was the one that was doing all of this.
No, but this is the thing. James believed that Adrian was a victim of Tom.
Yeah, which was
but Cecilia was trying to tell him that he set everything up.
No, she said that. No, I remember her words. She was like, in the beginning, like I know it was Adrian in the beginning. She said that. She was like, I know it was him doing that. Girl,
sorry.
So basically she goes to the dinner table and then she was like, she starts crying and starts like manipulating him into like
she's
thinking he was like
She was trying so hard to get him to confess. She was like, we need a fresh start. If you tell the truth, we can be together. And then he's like, I didn't do it. And then she starts crying and then he's like, I didn't do it. And then she's like, let me go clean myself up. And then she excuses herself to go to the bathroom.
And then it cuts back to the security camera.
Then we see it through the security camera. And all of a sudden, we see, like, him take his knife. And, like, you could tell from his face, like, what's happening? He's like, what's happening to me? And he slits his own throat. And then, like,
basically.
But, like, yeah. No. So then she comes out. And then she screams, she's like, ah! And then she, like, goes to, like, help him, and she calls 911. She's like, oh, my gosh, this is happening. And James, hearing all this, like, runs in, because he doesn't know what's happening. And then she, like, she hangs up, she steps away from the view of the security camera. And then she just has the straightest face, and she's like, she just watches him die. She's like, yeah, I did this. Mm-hmm. You know?
And then, my favorite part was when she walked out. And, like, the camera was, like, it was centered on her. And she was, like, walking out, like, very, like, triumphantly, like very confidently. And then the sound, like, the music that went along with her, like, walking up. And as it, like, progressively got louder and louder and louder, I was like, wow. Like, with the music,
I was like, good for you, you know?
I think the music made it, like, in the ending scene. In the ending scene, the music made that scene better. Like, it just... Like, as it was getting louder and louder and louder, it just, like, overtook me. And I felt like, wow, she really did this. No, and, like, wow.
The score in this, I thought, was crazy. I thought it was nuts.
I liked some of the, like, the little themes. Like, they had, like, little, like themes throughout the movie. But they didn't really return it all the time. Like, when the invisible suit came on, they didn't really... I'm like, oh, I wish they did that. And also, like... They usually movies when they do like that low bassy like shepherd's tone like the
that's what freaked me out. I love that.
But like it was so loud and I was like, what?
Yeah, it was
like sometimes it annoyed me, but it's like
it was
a lot
so
of movies
loud.
do it effectively. This one, I don't know if they did it effectively.
Really?
Yeah. Like I know like the low bassy like tone was supposed to like
it was
make it like it's supposed to make you like like tense up or whatever. But I don't know if this one worked for me. I don't know.
Really?
But I liked when they did it at some parts, but not all. Yeah.
Okay, I get what you mean.
Girl, I walked out of there, and I was like, the sound design was so good.
Yeah.
The sound design of that movie.
Yes.
I think silence was, like, a major part in this film. like, the most intriguing parts were like, we don't have, like, a lot of, like, room tone. So basically, like, the background noise.
Right.
Like, when they didn't have that much. And it was just, like, every body movement and every breath was so emphasized. And they did that, like,
hear,
in
like,
the sound design.
Foot creaks. You could hear every step.
The sound design did that. Like, they made it, like, louder and, like, more emphasized, more, like, they did that so, like, we feel like...
Yeah, it's like when you're alone in your house, you hear yourself, like, step, you hear the creaks, you hear...
And that, like, emphasizes that, like, your senses are heightened and you're scared.
Yeah.
So, like, it made me feel like that, too.
Yes, because when I'm alone in my house, like, and I'm like, walking and I hear a creak, I'm like, oh, shoot, like, I'm scared, like, you know?
Yeah. So that I really thought the sound design was so well done.
Yeah, no, it was
so
very
well
spot
done.
on, like...
Oh, wow.
Just, like...
It was just so... I literally, like, I walked out, I was like, the sound!
Yeah.
That's what it was just so well done.
My favorite scene was, I liked the end.
My favorite...
Yours was the dinner table?
Yeah. I think my favorite scene was when she was talking to Adrian in the bedroom scene. Like, he wasn't there. Like, he was just invisible, right? And then she put the coffee grounds on the floor, and then she was like,
right.
you know,
she was
I don't
like,
know why you like me.
Yeah.
I don't know why you, like, why me? And then she called his phone, and then that whole sequence, I love that.
Right.
That just made me like, oh, he's coming.
Because she's like this suburban girl, and he's this millionaire, good-looking guy, and she's like, why me? You could have had any girl. Why me? You know? I mean, but it was because he could control her, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what he liked about her.
That was I love that sequence.
Yeah.
And yours was
I liked when
the ending?
When she was like, I'm gonna get you back. This is like, you know, and she killed him.
What would you rate the film out of 5 teacups?
4.
Me too.
Oh,
yeah, 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
The ending just like threw me off. Because I didn't know who, I was like...
because of the the whole Tom thing.
Yeah, that was the only thing.
Yeah, no, I liked it a lot. I thought it was great. Alright, that about wraps up today. Join us next time on Targum Tea for more reviews, and make sure to follow the Daily Targum on our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for more content.